An old man was walking along the beach, and he saw a little girl picking up something very gently and putting it into the sea. He approached the girl and said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm picking up starfish and putting them back into the sea because the tide is gone. If I don't do it, they will all die." The old man said, "Little girl, there are miles and miles of beaches. There are hundreds and hundreds of starfish. You can't make a difference." After listening patiently, the little girl said, picked up the starfish, threw it back into the sea, and said, "I made a difference for that one." The old man had to think about what he has done and said. And then he bent down and picked up the starfish and put it back into the sea. And soon after, many others came and picked up all the starfish, and they all survived. 3 months ago, I had a phone call that changed my life. Our Prime Minister, Mahdi Jamal, called me and said, "Tunisia needs us. Come back home. Come back to rebuild our nation. Come back to be part of a startup democracy team." But he was honest. He said, "There are miles and miles of beaches with hundreds and hundreds of starfish. Are you ready for the challenge? You have 2 hours to make up your mind." During those 2 hours, everyone I spoke to said, "Don't do it." The only person who said, "Go for it," was my husband. He said, "Amel, this is your call. You can give back to Tunisia a little. Tunisia has given you so much. I support you." Trust me, during the last 3 months, I'm sure he had many moments of doubts if his advice was the right one. And still, he supports me. Everyone else, everyone from my family and friends said, "Don't do it." Why? You don't need all the trouble. Tunisia as a country is not ready for a taboo breaker, as we know you are. Tunisia as a country is not ready for a woman in such an important post. Tunisia as a country is not ready for a person with no gray hair. Yet. However, when a situation is difficult, I believe one needs to stand up. I believe one needs to say yes. Because hope and courage are not only needed for the 11 million Tunisian people, but for the whole region and the world. Being part of a startup democracy team is a challenge I decided to say yes to. The sacrifices are huge. Mostly being away from my daughter so much. Last Sunday, my 10-year-old, when I had to leave, was crying heavily. My 5-year-old hung herself onto my leg and said, "Mom, don't go. Don't leave us." I was sitting in the car on the way to the airport, and my heart was broken. And yet, 3 months ago, I said yes to Tunisia. Today, I'm saying yes to Tunisia. Every day, trust me, I'm going through intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually challenging times. No, it's not easy. And yes, it gets lonely. Today, I want to be honest with you. Today, I want to appeal to you. Today, I want to provoke you. Today, I don't want to talk to you as a minister. Today, I want to talk to you as a fellow Tunisian, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend. Today, more than on the 14th of January 2011, I believe Tunisia needs a new revolution, a different kind of revolution. Of course, we needed a revolution on 14th of January 2011. We needed to say, enough is enough, enough with no jobs. We needed to say, enough is enough with no hope for a youth idling with no jobs. We had to say, enough is enough with an economy that on paper looked healthy, but on the ground didn't match people's ambitions and dreams, especially the youth. We had to say, enough is enough with corruption that earned Tunisia the unenviable ranking of 77th most corrupt country out of 177 countries. The struggle was clear, the message was clear, game over, enough is enough. It came at a huge cost, it came at a huge sacrifice, with some violence, but at the end, the will of the people thrived. Today, we are here in the situation that democracy and freedom didn't come with economic prosperity. Democracy, for us, for all the youth of Tunisia, has quite a high cost. Being responsible for tourism, I can tell you that I'm shocked how much of the all ill of the whole society and economy of Tunisia is coming together into this sector. Not only me, everyone in our government, in the team, we're working together. We have to balance between two challenges. On the one side, people who want results immediately, they want jobs immediately. I wish I had a magic baton to change all of it now. I understand that impatience. On the other side, we need really deep reforms, deep structural economic reforms that need a lot of dialogue and a lot of time. Every morning, I rise to the challenge of choosing between what is right and what is easy. Every morning, I pray to God to help me to choose what is right over that what is easy. Today, I want to challenge you to tell you that more importantly than on 14th of January 2011, we need another revolution. We need another kind of revolution. We need a revolution of mind. We need a revolution of mentality. We need a revolution where work and the value of work come back to the center of society. We need a revolution to rebuild Tunisia that can inspire us and inspire the world. Like it inspired Ibn Khaldun in the Middle Ages, who had the strength to bring logic and rationality into sociology, like inspired Nelson Mandela, who even after 27 years of hardship forgave his captors and became a symbol for peace and reconciliation. Like the perseverance of Rabia Haddad, who at age 12, when her father didn't allow her to continue her education, went on hunger strike and persevered until he changed his mind to become the first Tunisian female in parliament after independence. Or we can share the courage of Malala, a 16-year-old student who, after being shot in her head, stayed and fought for education for girls and for human rights. And finally, like our founding father, Habib Bourguiba, who had a vision for Tunisia. After being arrested many times and exiled by the French protectorate, he had a vision and always said, Tunisia can always turn to a new page. I believe today, with all the challenges we have, unemployment, inequality, economic crisis, Tunisia needs to turn to a new page. As Bourguiba said in the past, we are going through difficult times in Tunisia because freedom can be dangerous. But as Nelson Mandela said, impossible. It's only impossible until it's done. And I want to share with you a magnificent example of Rwanda that survived, that overcome the death of 1 million people in 3 months in '94. And on top of the corpses said enough is enough, to become the country of the thousand hills. And today, one of the fastest growing economies of Africa, one of the fastest growing